Dada, or Dadaism, was an art movement of the European avant-garde era. The movement began around 1916. Many historians have credited New York with the starting place of the Dada avant-garde movement. Dada was developed in a reaction of World War One, after such a bloody war, a war that no one has seen anything like it beforehand. People seem to, artists mostly, seem to gather around the idea of using humor to cope with it. And this new idea that our society isn't as structured as it once was, and this movement really emphasizes the destructuralization of our society and really flips everything that we know about society and about art on its head. Dada rejected logic, rationality, and our modern form of capitalistic society. Instead, it focused more on nonsense, irrationality, often using humor to convey the message that it was trying to portray. Dada was more than just nonsensical nonsense happening. It was nonsense with a purpose. Nonsense to protest governments, to express how people felt. This was how a lot of people coped with the war and things like that, and losing many brothers and fathers and such. Dada was founded by poet and singer Emmy Hemingway and Hugo Ball. And Hugo Ball was credited with writing the manifesto for Dada. He recited the manifesto on July 14th, 1916, with help from Raoul Hansmann. And the Dada movement would end in the early 1920s. Many famous artists came from this era, including the aforementioned Hugo Ball, Emmy Henning, Raoul Hansmann. However, one of the most famous came from America, Mr. Marcel Duchamp. His most famous work, and the most famous work of the Dada movement, was known simply as The Fountain. The fountain was a urinal that was transformed into a working water fountain. He used this as a whimsical humor version of what urinals were typically used for, and completely turned it out. Instead of urinals taking water, they would be providing it for other people. Another famous work that he had was called La Cour. He painted this in 1919. This was him giving the Mona Lisa a new backdrop, a more rugged background with mountains and more hills and such. And he also gave the Mona Lisa a goatee and a mustache. Even the title is a part of the Dada movement itself. If spoken in French and said slow enough, it translates to "she is hot." Marcel Duchamp was an American who really utilized Dada as not only forms of protest, but also forms of expression. He took what the Mona Lisa was and turned it into something whimsical, humorous. And he turned a fountain into a working water. And a lot of people saw this as a perception of how we allow African Americans to use dirty, filthier water fountains compared to the white people. Dada in the manifesto by Hugo Ball means nothing, as he says. At first reading this, you can describe the manifesto as a nonsensical rant. In fact, the manifesto itself, some people have said, means nothing. He screams words like boom, 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 and life, 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 and it's all around confusing. But once you get to the heart of what the manifesto is, it perfectly explains what Dada is itself. In the beginning, he describes humans as impulsive and vibrant, and that's what Dada was supposed to embody, vibrant impulsiveness. He also says that we as humans have now been now forcing order and law onto each other, and that Dada was to completely reject all things that were law and orderly. Dada was born in a need of independence, as Hugo Ball describes. This was a time where ruthless dictators were rising to power and countries were falling. Dada was used as a form of independence for the avant-garde era. And Dada at its core is active simplicity. Dada is, as he says, nothing. And nothing is more simplistic than nothing. But above all else, Dada represents life. Dada is a form of our life. It shows that things go crazy and nonsensical, and sometimes they don't make sense, but that's okay. Dada embraces things that don't make sense, embraces things that are humorous, funny, and aren't meant what they were used for. Towards the end, he starts quoting the Bible. He says that love thy neighbor is hypocrisy. That how do you love thy neighbor if you cannot love thyself? This was another part of what Dada was. Dada was more than just loving other people. It was more all, freedom for all. Which is why he quotes the Bible again, saying, know thyself is a utopian idea in the Bible. And it's the perfect idea in the Bible because it embraces wickedness. In conclusion, the Dada avant-garde era was short-lived, lasting around eight years. But it was 8 years that embraced humor, whimsicalness, nonsense, things that meant nothing. But they didn't actually mean nothing. They meant something to everyone. They meant independence, freedom, protests. This was how people coped with their reality, the new reality of the new world that we are living. A world that had just gotten off of war. Dada represents life. But above all else, Dada means nothing. Thank you.